There are new updates on Savannah Guthrie's mother, Nancy's disappearance. Savannah Guthrie's sister, Annie, has had her car impounded and it's under investigation. And to make matters worse, Annie's husband, Tommaso, Savannah Guthrie's brother-in-law, is a possible suspect. In this video, I'm going to give you the latest update on Nancy's disappearance and give you a breakdown of everything that's happening. Welcome to Criminal Motives. My name is Matthew Pfeiffer. I'm a therapist, coach, author. With all that being said, let's watch this next video. I'm going to give you my reactions and give you my thoughts afterwards.
All right, we have News Nation contributor now, Ashley Banfield, back on News Nation, which is, it's always great to see you, my friend, along with our senior national correspondent, Brian Enton, who continues his terrific reporting on the ground on this difficult story in Tucson. A lot of people, Ashley, want to know about and hear about your reporting on this story, which we will do. I want to go to Brian first on our own confirmed reporting on the ground there, and then we're going to come back to some of what you've been hearing. So, Brian, today, what are the developments? Again, day 4, from investigators, people you're talking to, are they getting anywhere?
A couple of new developments, Connell. First of all, the search for Nancy Guthrie continues, and I saw it with my own eyes just a couple of blocks from her home here in the neighborhood. There were about half a dozen sheriff's deputies kind of in a field area doing what looked like a grid search. We don't know exactly what they were looking for, but they were clearly still searching. We also saw a helicopter up late last night for about an hour, just circling over Nancy's home, very, very low, with 2 deputies looking out the helicopter, looking for something. Something else brand new, Connell, just within the last 20 minutes, at Nancy Guthrie's daughter's house, Annie. That's about 10 minutes from here, Savannah's sister, Annie. We know that there are federal agents that were back at the house again and went inside the house. They were inside the house for a little bit of time, and then they came out of the house and they left again. And on their shirts, it said ICAC, which is an Internet Crimes Against Children task force, from what we know. But we know that they also do other analysis of technology and cell phones and computers and that kind of thing. So they were back at the house. We also saw,
whenever there is like a children's like association involved, it's more about the fact that this person is vulnerable. That a lot of times there's people don't realize how many links there are between someone that might be elderly like Nancy and someone who may be kidnapped who is a child. Just the vulnerability, the level of care that person needs. Obviously there's a lot of links between with this being a kidnapping, and then also sometimes those type of agencies have access to different technology, different computer analysis that maybe other agencies don't do. So it'll be interesting to see if something turns up, because oftentimes people think that they can just erase their computers, erase technology. I'm sure you've seen and heard in cases like this where agencies are able to pull up former Google searches. People think that they can just like erase their internet history. But with an agency like this, they're not going to be able to get away with something like that.
Annie Guthrie, and who we believe is Savannah's brother, also arriving back at the sister's house a couple of hours. So that seems like it's where the family is sort of staging right now, as everybody here in the neighborhood and really all of Tucson and now the country and world at this point just sort of waits on the edge of their seat to see what happens next with this investigation.
They absolutely do. Here's what the sheriff's office put out in a statement earlier, saying at this point, investigators have not identified a suspect or person of interest in this case. Detectives continue to speak with anyone who may have had contact with Mrs. Guthrie. Detectives working closely with the Guthrie family. While we appreciate the public's concern, the sharing of unverified accusations or false information is irresponsible, does not assist the investigation. No suspect or person of interest has been identified at this time. You know, as I said, a lot of people actually want to hear what you're saying about this. We've been talking about it on your podcast. So what can you tell us tonight?
Well, I have an impeccable source, a high-level law enforcement source. Connell, I've been doing this job for almost 4 decades, and I've made a lot of friends in the FBI, made a lot of friends in Border Patrol, made a lot of friends in local law enforcement all around the country, and this is one of my best sources of all time. So this is an impeccable source, and I don't believe this source would lead me down the garden path. And what that source told me was, number one, there were Nest cameras, plural, and they were smashed, and that they'd been taken into evidence. Brian Enton saw that the Nest camera on the front of the house had actually been removed. The sheriff would not confirm or deny that they'd been smashed or taken by either the sheriff or the suspect, or whomever committed this crime. I was also told the back door was left wide open. It's fascinating to see Brian's video of the blood drops at the front door. So that leaves open another part of this mystery. What happened at the back of the house? What happened at the front? I was also told that the car belonging to Annie Guthrie, that's Savannah's sister, Nancy Guthrie's daughter, had been towed and taken into evidence. And then the critical line from this high-level law enforcement source was that the son-in-law may be prime suspect at this time. I also want to say this. I don't doubt for a moment that the sheriff's office has it in their best interest to put out that statement. But I've been to this rodeo before, and so has Brian Enton. On December 19th, the Moscow police identified Brian Koberger through genealogical DNA found on the snap of the knife sheath. December 19th, 2022. On December 20th, the day after, the police chief said, no suspects have been identified and only vetted information that does not hinder the investigation will be released to the public. We encourage referencing official releases for accurate and updated progress. So I have been there before when the police quietly among themselves identify someone, but publicly tell us nothing to see here. That's not to say that their information could change. I saw it change with John Ramsey. They thought he was under the umbrella of suspicion. They changed it years later. I saw it as well with Ed Smart. They changed that too.
All right, welcome back. So we certainly have a lot to talk about. So most crimes like this happen as a result of someone that you know. Most murders happen as a result of someone that you know. Most kidnappings happen as a result of someone that you know. I mentioned in a video yesterday that whoever did this knew what they were doing because of the cameras. And they mentioned today that the cameras not only had been smashed, but some of them had been taken. Some of the Nest cameras had been taken. And if it happens to be that the brother-in-law is a suspect and or the sister is a suspect, then that theory would hold true here as well. If the person wasn't familiar with Nancy, if the person wasn't familiar with the household, they probably would miss the cameras, or they would probably miss at least a couple of cameras, even if they were intentional about getting the cameras. I would say that there would be an exception if the person had stalked Nancy for a period of time. But even then, the person typically would kind of know Nancy just through the stalking process. And I think that if the brother-in-law is named a prime suspect, one of the things that people have to question is, did Annie know? Did the daughter and Savannah Guthrie's sister, did she know? Was she a part of it? Obviously, her car has been impounded, so she's at least a part of it through potentially. Let me rephrase, because we don't have anything for sure yet. But the proximity lines up. The proximity, not only in terms of where they live, because they only live 10 minutes away, but in proximity in terms of the closeness and the relationship, all lines up with, unfortunately, someone that possibly and could have done something like this. So it'll be interesting to see what turns up with the car. I'm also interested to see why they considered the car possible evidence, what it was that they saw. I mean, they really can't impound a car without a search warrant, or unless they had some sort of probable cause. Obviously, they're keeping their cars very close to their chest for a lot of reasons. We don't want something that is going to be this that has this much attention to, and then find out that they didn't do it, and then their name is smeared all over the world, and then you find that they didn't do it. So I mean, hopefully they didn't. I mean, I would hate to find out that this happened as a result of someone that was in their family. And I mean, there's just a lot of ramifications that can happen from something like that. I'm also curious to know what the cyber experts possibly found. Was there a search warrant issued for their cyber belongings? And if so, what items were included in that search? Was it the home computer? Was it a laptop? Was it all of their technology? And I think there's a lot of conversation about Nancy's Nest cameras, but what about their possible Ring or Nest cameras as well? Did they see Nancy coming in and out? Did they see them taking bags in and out? Did they see them coming in and out at odd hours? So it's really going to be interesting over the next several hours and days to see what information comes out. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Where there's smoke, is there possible fire? Do you think that the brother-in-law possibly had something to do with this? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. I upload videos on this channel multiple times a day. I talk about different trending topics that are happening in the news. And if you enjoy this type of content, I have another video that you might like linked right here on the screen. With all that being said, thank you very much, and I will see you in the next video. You guys have a good one.